Alright, I am creating my first video game, and that's how it looks. Why racing? Because it has always been my favorite genre of video games. But for a while now, I've felt the lack of big, interesting arcade racing games that have come out in recent years. As for me, the only truly interesting arcade AAA racing game released in recent years was Need for Speed Unbound. The game was better than previous parts in many ways and had its own recognizable style. Fortunately, in recent years, new indie projects have begun to appear. Art of Rally, Night Runners, Trail Out, Heading Out, and many others. And I wanna try to join this trend. First, I had to choose a game engine. The choice was between Unreal Engine and Unity. I was immediately sure that it would be an Unreal Engine. It has much more features out of the box and lots of plugins, including free ones. Besides, at first I almost didn't know how to code, and it was easier for me to start with blueprints than with C#. Also, it's easier to get a good visual without being a pro 3D artist, and I like the way the lighting looks in it. When the genre and the engine were chosen, I needed to decide on the main features of the game. Let's talk about car physics. I've always been more interested in arcade physics style. The only car simulators that really engaged me were rally games, but even more interesting were the games balancing between these extremes somewhere in the middle. The best example is Driver San Francisco. You always have to be focused on driving because the car constantly tends to go into a skid, but at the same time the game allows you to make mistakes in driving without completely losing control. I think this driving style can be defined as simcade car physics, and I will stick to it. The game setting is supposed to be such that only old muscle cars are left. Why? This requires some explanation. In many racing games, it was always a problem for me what to choose, an easy to drive European car or a powerful muscle car. For example, Driver San Francisco allows you to complete many side activities in any car, and in the most of these activities it is reasonable to choose a European or Japanese car. In Need for Speed Pro Street, it is difficult to complete grip or speed change on American cars. It is not worth it that you will spend most of the time in grip race mode. Need for Speed Unbound is a tense game, and of course it will be hard to complete circuit races and sprints driving a muscle car. And Need for Speed The Run is the best example of this problem. Playing an old muscle car is unreasonably hard, especially at high difficulty levels. These games, as well as many others, make me either take a car that is less interesting to me or artificially complicate my experience, and they don't reward me at all if I choose a harder way. That's why I want to keep muscle cars only in my game. So the action takes place from the 1960s to the 1970s, during the golden era of muscle cars. Next, I had to choose a location. Essentially, the choice was between the cities and the countryside. I chose the countryside, referencing iconic movies about car adventure. I talk about Vanishing Point, Duel, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, Thelma and Louise, and two-lane Blacktop. After choosing this setting, I had to decide on the game modes. It was important for me to have multiple game modes to keep the gameplay varied. Currently, the game has time trial, race with rivals, police chase, and drift mode. Also, it has a smash mode, in which you need to hit the marked objects to get extra time. Let's look at police pursuit representation in some racing games. Heading Out, released last year, reproduces the essence of movies like Vanishing Point in gameplay, but the game doesn't let the player outfight the police cars. You can only outrun them, otherwise they will arrest you. There's a game which lets you either outrun or outfight. I'm talking about Driver San Francisco game. Enemy cars are destroyable, their strength is a little less than the player's car. The number of chasers is relatively small, and sometimes it's easier to take them down, especially if you use shifting between cars. I didn't want to make the shifting feature in my game, however the other parts of this configuration sound perfect to me. Gameplay is grounded, changing, and fun at the same time, but I wanted to give the player more agency by allowing him to destroy the police cars in other ways, rather than just crashing into them. And the answer was found in old Need for Speed games, Pursuit Breakers. For example, if you destroy donut construction in Need for Speed Most Wanted, it will take down the pursuers. So I've added similar destructible constructions. Let's sum it up. Pursuits take place on highways and country roads. Police cars are destroyable as well as the player's car. Also, the player can use a destructible environment to escape. As you progress through the game, you will change the car condition from junk to perfect. Technical repairs are essentially similar to tuning in most Need for Speed games. Body repairs restore the strength of the car, which is mostly important during police chases. I made an upgrade represented by a repair system because I wanted the player to feel the car in a more personal way. In the end, I just wanna say that I am trying to make something that I would play myself and combine features in a way to resolve some other games' problems as I see them. Not all the things work well by now, but I hope I will manage it. Next, I am planning to make a more detailed video about car control or about car damage in games. So, if you are interested in the topic of racing games, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. And if my project seemed interesting to you, try my free demo on itch.io. Also, if you have an itch.io account, you can follow updates on the game page. Thanks a lot for watching.